Welcome back, Calvary fam. My name is Dave Payne. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm one of the elders at Calvary Bristol. I'm also just the director of digital ministries here, and we have been doing a short series of just helping us prepare our minds and spirits for Thanksgiving, because I'm pretty sure anyone who has to prepare anything for Thanksgiving knows it gets hectic, especially the closer you get, as we're only a week out, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys are like, oh, I don't have blank, or is so-and-so coming, and do I gotta prepare an extra plate? What's going on? And so, as stressful and hectic as that gets, I just wanted to help just do short, I think they all been about 13, 14 minutes so far, but just a quick break to just focus on one book of the Bible and just help remind ourselves of different ways that the Lord has blessed us and how we can give thanks. Pretty much, if this is your first time coming, there's 2 videos before this where we've been going through the book of Ruth. And so week 1, we were talking about being thankful for community. Week 2 was being thankful for his provision. And week 3 is thankful for redemption. And this will make a little bit more sense as we go through. Just once again, if this is your first time in one of these videos, we're not going to go verse by verse. I'm asking you guys to read chapter 3 or the whole book on your own. If you guys have to pause it and read chapter 3 real quick, it's not long, and I encourage you guys to do so. But that is not the purpose of the study. We're just here to give a brief overview and just pull out a few different bits and pieces that we can be thankful for, and then we can go on from there. So if you got to pause, feel free to do so. I won't know if you do. But anyway, let's jump into a few highlights of chapter 3. So at this point, we find out that there has been another time jump, another little skip in time, not 10 years this time. At the end of chapter 2, it says in verse 23, "So Ruth stayed close to the women of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvests were finished, and she lived with her mother-in-law." We know in the end of chapter 1 that Ruth and Naomi returned from Moab pretty much at the start at the barley harvests. And I was reading around online, and some people agree that this probably, between the 2 harvests and then just the threshing and all that stuff, would probably be close to 2 months worth of time. So Ruth has been at Boaz's field for 2 months now, really getting to know the people, it sounds like, making friends and everything. However, Naomi has been noticing some things, and pretty much is like, in short, wants to play a little bit of matchmaker. So, in short, Naomi one day tells Ruth, "Yo, clean yourself, get the good smelling perfume, get your nice clothes, and do what I'm about to tell you, okay?" And pretty much tells her to sneak in, late at night, see where Boaz is going, because he's going to be there at the threshing floor. I know I remember reading a few things where Boaz would have stayed there as pretty much the person in charge to help protect the grain and stuff. So he was going to be there along with probably a few of those men. But Naomi's like, "I know where Boaz is going. When you find him, take the blanket off his feet, just roll it up, and just lay there and wait." In short, it is a very strange tradition that in today's modern era, it's confusing, at least for myself. But in short, Naomi is telling Ruth to propose to Boaz in a way. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. Ruth does everything that she's told, and then Boaz wakes up to cold feet and a woman just in the middle of the night, which is just surprising. And Boaz is I don't know, I know when I first wake up, I'm not very there with it, but Ruth pretty much like says what Naomi tells her, to ask for protection and everything that she's supposed to say. And Boaz tells her that he is happy and would love to do that. There's only one potential issue. There's someone closer to the family, and he just needs to pretty much get his okay that he is not interested, and we can do everything that she was proposing, and he was going to do that. And pretty much he tells her, stay here, stay safe. And then like she gets up early, like it says, like before like she can be recognized, and like he gives her the gift of like 6 measures of barley. I didn't find out how much that was, but I'm pretty sure if it's anything like the other gifts that he's been giving, it was a lot of barley. And then pretty much like it says that there's a bundle that he had to place on top of her, and then she went back home, and he also kind of like tells pretty much everybody else, like, hey, hush hush, let's not speak of this. And then when Ruth gets home, Naomi's like, dude, don't worry. Well, I don't think she said dude, but she said, Ruth, don't worry. Boaz will not, he won't let this go to the end of the day. And that's kind of where we get the end of the chapter, and we're going to see the conclusion of that in chapter 4. But one of the takeaways, as I was thinking through this, there's a lot of things that could stick out, but I know in the NIV, what the title that Boaz has is Guardian Redeemer. I know in other versions, is just called the Redeemer, everything. And at that point, it was a legal term, like back in the Old Testament around Ruth's time. It was pretty much a legal term to pretty much redeem or help a relative like that was in serious difficulty. And this goes all the way back to Leviticus. And that's kind of what is being said, like, hey, help us out. You can get pretty much all Naomi's land. And one of the things that would go with that, well, we'll see more next chapter, is that Ruth would be part of that. However, looking at this, is that Ruth and Boaz, like this whole kind of redemption of the family and bringing people in, is just really reminded me a lot of our relationship with God, like how it's similar. Of a set of verses that is similar, that really shows this, is Romans 5:8-11. It says, "But God demonstrated His own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Since we have now been justified by His blood, how much more shall we be saved from God's wrath through Him? For if while we were God's enemies, we were reconciled to Him through the death of His Son, how much more, having been reconciled, shall we be saved through His life? Not only is this so, but we boast in God through the Lord Jesus Christ, that through whom we have received reconciliation." Now, I'm not going to say that Ruth and Boaz here is the perfect picture of this redemption, because honestly, like that whole picture in fruition is showed in both chapter 3 and 4. But I do think just the focus of this, of Ruth coming to Boaz and just pretty much asking for his help, and as his title is a Redeemer, is so similar of how we are going to come to Jesus, how we come to God, Jesus, and ask for forgiveness. How Jesus already paid for everything, that He went through this. He paid the price. He died and rose again on the cross. And just, if you're not thankful for that, I find it hard to be thankful for really anything else that we talked about on this list. The gift that God gave us of redemption from ourselves, from sin, and just everything that was keeping us separated, that Christ paid that so that we can be free, and that we boast in him for it. And so just how we're seeing Boaz saying, and Naomi is saying, yes, Boaz is going to do everything he can. He's not going to let this matter sleep. Like, it will be done probably even before lunchtime. It is very similar to how God sent Jesus to do everything to save us. And I don't have a good, fun little story like we have had with the first two ones, but I just want to leave you guys to just sit there and think about that. And just how much, like, I know myself, I normally get lost and don't remember, and I'm not as thankful as I should be sometimes about what Christ gave us. So that's my challenge for you guys. I know the other 2 weeks I said, hey, write some stuff down, but I challenge you to, like, I don't know, read like, besides reading through Ruth, I don't know, read through like the Romans Road or some of the other gospel passages, or even read like some of the, like, Christ's crucifixion and resurrection story accounts in the Gospels, just to refresh and be encouraged of what he's done. So, and by the way, if anybody is sitting here listening to this and or watching and is confused about what I'm saying here, feel free to, like, reach out, like, whether it's in the comments below, or if you guys, like, have a number, you guys can call the church, because I know we have the website linked down in the description. And honestly, if there's any questions about what Christ did, like, don't hesitate. Please feel free to ask us, and we would be happy to answer questions. But that is all I have for today, and I will see you guys next week on Thanksgiving. So until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.